You're watching Oklahoma's News 4 at 6.
Bibles in Oklahoma classrooms. An Oklahoma senator in Washington says it could lead to problems.
I think it's a slippery slope.
What type of education he says the teachers need before trying to teach the Bible. Plus, 2 Kansas women murdered in Oklahoma. What we're learning about the killings. And the shocking twist. Are some of those charged now turning on each other? And a former church board member arrested and accused of molesting several young girls.
Have any answers at all?
No.
Tonight, we confront the former pastor now accused of covering the whole thing up.
I'm thinking if I had to do it all over again, yeah, I would have probably called the police. But I was trying to redeem him.
Years of child molestation, investigators say, was covered up by a leader at a Shawnee church.
The suspect, Charles Sullivan, a former church board member, arrested, allegedly confessing to years of molestation. The 91-year-old already out of jail after allegedly confessing to police. News 4's Dylan Brown tracking him down today. And Dylan, I understand you just didn't confront him about this.
No, Kevin, I also confronted the former pastor of the First Church of Nazarene in Shawnee. He was one of several pastors who allegedly knew what happened and never called police. Why did you molest them? Let me ask that.
91-year-old Charles Sullivan told police he molested several young girls over several years while at Shawnee First Church of the Nazarene. He had been a board member. One victim's story able to get 5 others to talk. Court documents allege Sullivan lured one girl when she was 9 years old to his truck in the church parking lot, promising a gift. There he touched her, kissed her, and tried to get under her clothes. She told Pastor Johnny Stevens, but police weren't called. Allegedly, the district superintendent, Terry Rowland, said a family member of hers could lose their minister's license if it was pursued further. I tried contacting the Nazarene district office where Rowland was.
Terry Rowland.
At the tone, please record your message.
I also went to his house, but got nowhere. Another alleged victim told police when she was 12 he molested her, saying, quote, "I could really go for a girl like you." Again, police weren't called. Another, 14 years old, she said while he molested her, she elbowed him in the groin. Pastor Stevens allegedly told her she was a, quote, bad kid, that people wouldn't believe her, that her family member could lose their job at church, saying the money Sullivan gave to the church helped pay for that family member's salary. Another alleged victim said Sullivan molested her. The pastor was told didn't call police. Instead, Stevens was said to have kept a close eye on him. Another said when she was 8, Sullivan put his arm between her legs, hand under her dress, kissing her on the mouth. Yet again, no report made with police. Another pastor at the time, Drew Donnell, who's now lead pastor at Muskogee Nazarene, allegedly told police he knew of 2 victims. When he told Rowland, though, he says the superintendent told him to try and not report it. We confronted Pastor Johnny Stevens at his home. He now retired from the church.
People are going to say he should have been taken out of the church completely after
Well,
that.
I'm not going to excommunicate somebody.
Why? If they're molesting little girls?
I just tried my best to watch him.
But you failed.
I don't know that I failed.
4 or 5 girls getting molested by this gentleman?
Did he? Did they? What would I do?
Police.
Yeah, maybe.
And not let him back in the church?
No, I'm going to let him in the church.
Even after he molested girls?
So I'm thinking if I had to do it all over again, yeah, I would have probably called the police. But I was trying to redeem him. I just was at the moment and trying to figure it all out. So that's what I did. Maybe it was wrong.
Maybe.
I don't doubt that it was wrong.
In August, Sullivan was interviewed. He said he never thought of the girls as being kids, that when he saw them, he was aroused and acted on it. He said, quote, "You know, I had forgot all about this." When told that the girls didn't forget, he said, quote, "Well, all I can say is I'm sorry about it. We all do a lot of stupid things, and this was one of them." We tried confronting Sullivan, and while he was open with police, he had nothing to say to us.
Do you have any answers at all?
No.
And we went to the Nazarene District headquarters locally in Bethany, called both Rowland and Donnell. We haven't got a call back yet. We're trying to find out, though, why a report from 2016 was not followed up on. Sullivan's charged with 3 counts of lewd acts with a child, 2 counts of sexual battery.
Thank you, Dylan. Updating breaking news, McIntyre Law Chopper 4 over the scene of a bus crash in southeast Oklahoma City. We're told the Middale bus and a Terminix truck hit head-on. It happened about 2:30 this afternoon near southeast 46th and Sunny Lane. You can see both vehicles are badly damaged. Nobody was hurt.
A U.S. Senator from Oklahoma is reacting to State Superintendent Ryan Walters' plan to put Bibles in Oklahoma classrooms. He's calling it, quote, a slippery slope. Some of the Bibles have already been ordered and will be distributed to AP government classes. Walters has said the Bible is part of American history and should be taught in a historical context. The Bibles ordered recently have been endorsed by President-elect Trump and have a copy of the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution inside them.
I think it's a slippery slope when you put it in the hands of teachers that may not be believers, that's going to be teaching the word that can easily be taken out of context. So if the state is going to require that, then the state should also be required that it's taught by someone that graduated from seminary school. If you just leave it in the hands of a public school teacher that may be not able to actually teach it because they weren't taught it themselves, then it can cause a tremendous amount of confusion.
Well, our team has reached out to Walters to give him a chance to respond to Mullen's comments. As of right now, we have not heard back.
A former Norman City councilman who made a run for state senate arrested for an outburst in an Oklahoma County courtroom today. The Oklahoma County Sheriff's Office confirms Kelly Lynn was taken into custody and had a gun on him inside the courtroom when he was arrested. According to the online news publication Non-Doc, who first reported this story, Lynn is allowed to have that gun because he's a municipal judge in Wewoka and Dibble. The online publication saying the judge ordered Lynn to 5 days in jail for direct contempt, saying he was aggressive and disruptive during a family court hearing this morning. We checked. Lynn was booked into jail at 4 this afternoon and is being held without bond.
Now to new disturbing developments in the death of 2 Kansas moms.
Veronica Butler and Jillian Kelly were brutally murdered. The women stabbed to death and buried in a freezer in the Oklahoma Panhandle.
News 4's Sydney Batzlaff is joining us with disturbing details released in the victims' autopsies. Sydney.
We now have the medical examiner reports for both Veronica Butler and Jillian Kelly. This comes after the judge denied a request by the defense to keep them sealed. The reports reveal gruesome deaths, but that isn't the only new development. Some of the defendants will now be called as witnesses. In the report, it says she grabbed the knife blade with her right hand, resulting in her fingers being sliced multiple times. Butler also had possible stun gun marks. Jillian Kelly's report was mistakenly released early a few weeks ago by the medical examiner. She was also stabbed to death. Both reports say Kelly and Butler's bodies were put inside a freezer and buried along with evidence of the crime. Now to a twist in the case. 2 of the defendants, Paul Grice and Cora Twombly, waived their rights to a preliminary hearing. New court filings show they are now endorsed as state witnesses and will be called to testify during the preliminary hearing next month for the 3 other defendants. We spoke with legal expert Ed Blau about what this may mean.
I believe did it because they had worked out a deal with the prosecution, and that deal would be to testify. And then in the end, I'm sure for the prosecution to take the death penalty off the table and let them plead a lie for something like it.
Court documents show prosecutors believe Paul Grice stabbed and killed Butler. Tad Cullum killed Kelly. The Twombleys acted as lookouts. And Adams purchased supplies and hated and despised Butler and wanted her dead. Adams, Cullum, and Cole Twombly's preliminary hearings are set to begin December 17th. All 3 are facing several charges, including 2 counts of first-degree murder. The grandmother also faces 2 counts of child neglect.
A big game in Norman this weekend, and it will bring in a lot of fans.
We knew it would have an impact, but it's exceeded all of the expectations that we had.
Why the Sooners' so-so season on the football field has still been a big W for businesses in Norman. It's next.
Yeah, 2 home games. That's really exciting coming up on Saturday. What a gorgeous fall day today after a frosty start. Here's a look at our time-lapse sunset from Rose State College. Skies are clear out there tonight, and the winds are calm. It's going to be a frosty night ahead. Talking Friday and your weekend coming up.
Next year marks 30 years since the Oklahoma City bombing, and we are remembering the lives lost on April 19, 1995.
And this evening, we remember Mark Allen Bolte. while honoring those who survived and thanking those changed forever. You know, one of history's most storied football programs comes to Norman to play another storied program this Saturday.
And while it's been a disappointing first season for the Sooners in the SEC, it's been anything but for the city of Norman.
News 4's Austin Brissett explains why. It's new at 6.
Roll Tide! It's been over 2 decades since the Crimson Tide rolled into town.
We're friendly with everybody.
And we were there. The Alabama faithful made the trek to Norman back in 2002.
Anybody will travel 800 miles to see a ball game. That's Alabama fans.
And despite Oklahoma's lackluster season, city officials say they're expecting more of the same for this year's clash of the Crimsons.
We knew it would have an impact, but it's exceeded all of the expectations that we had. So it's really been great.
That's Dan Shim with Visit Norman. He says the conference move has impacted the city in several ways.
We saw massive spikes in total spend, in hotel average daily rates, in occupancy and everything.
And that's for the Tennessee weekend back in September. Shim says total spending was up 50% compared to the 3 games before. Of that number, 56% was spent locally.
They're really helping our locally owned mom and pop businesses.
Back then, both programs were in different universes. Oklahoma 2 years removed from a national title and number 2 in the country, while Alabama was unranked. Despite that, Bama fans were out in full force when Oklahoma came out on top 37-27. OU fans hoping for some Sooner magic and the same outcome this go-around, with their season having not gone as planned. But for Shim and the city, it's a financial plan coming to fruition.
All of the things that we thought would happen are happening, and we're excited to see how it continues.
Austin Brissett, Oklahoma's News 4.
Shem says they'll keep track with the SEC traveling for basketball, baseball, and even gymnastics. Meanwhile, the Sooners kick off against Alabama Saturday night at 6:30.
Now, forewarned weather with Mike Morgan.
And it's time for the Sooners to have an up game, I think, right? About that time. Let's go ahead and take a look. A beautiful fall evening. It's getting chilly out there, though. The winds are light. Looking right up Northwest Highway right here. And just want to point out to you at sunset, look at Lake Hefner there, just about glass. Skies will be clear tonight. Cold, frosty night ahead. Rose State College there, just a little glimmer there on the western horizon. Our temperature 49. Winds are from the north at 7. Dew points are in the upper 20s. That's where we could go for morning lows in the morning. Our morning low is 34 at Will Rogers and 58. Our daytime high. Here are the lows across our state this morning. One thing I want to point out to you on Lynx 1 is the fact that the higher elevations of Comanche County around Mears were warmer. Cold air is heavy. It sinks. It goes to the lower elevations so you can see where the mountains are located. And this is a little hint of the urban heat island effect. Sunshine today and yesterday heats up the concrete, and that takes a while to cool off at night. So oftentimes the interior city doesn't get freezes, where the rural areas like northern Oklahoma and even parts of the central parts of our state dropped into the upper 20s and low 30s this morning. Let's go back to our weather computer. Right now we're 49, 45 in El Reno, 48 in Shawnee, 50 and more in Norman. It's in the lower to mid 40s already in northern Oklahoma and northeastern Oklahoma, 41 in Miami and 45 in Ponca City. Still in the 50s in the southern part of our state, and the winds are light and variable now. We'll have light winds tonight and light winds for your Friday. It's totally clear out there. Good travel weather in and around Oklahoma for tonight, tomorrow, and for Saturday. Here's your Thursday evening, dropping right down to the low 40s by 9 o'clock. And by the 10 o'clock news, light winds, clear skies, and 38 degrees. That fall jacket or even a little light winter coat will feel good. 30 and frosty in the morning. Branson 27, Wichita 27. Sunshine tomorrow. There'll be a little high cloud cover, so lightly filtered sunshine, but mostly sunny. Dallas 64, light winds in Wichita 51, 49 in Branson. A great Friday, and Friday evening will be chilly as well, but not much wind. So here's your evening by 10 o'clock in the mid 30s. In northern Oklahoma, about 38 here in Oklahoma City at 10, and low 40s in the southern part of our state. And for tonight, 30 for a low. Widespread frost, should be a few degrees colder than this morning with light winds all night. And do expect a lot of frost around, and a frost fair game any place in the state, and some freezing temperatures also central and northern Oklahoma. Even Saturday morning, a little frost in the northern and northeastern parts of our state on Saturday morning. But things are going to change for your weekend. And here are your your lows from 27 to 32 tonight, depending on where you live. In the metro and upper 20s in much of northern Oklahoma to near freezing or just above in the southern part of our state. And for Friday, filtered sunshine, but mostly sunny. Should be thin high cloud cover. 59 for a high with light winds all day, even by afternoon tomorrow. The wind's still light in all of central Oklahoma. So a great day. 57 to 60. My forecast highs for tomorrow, and from 49 up around Grand Lake to about 62 in Altus tomorrow. Just a gentle south wind by afternoon in western Oklahoma. Sooner football here. Now the temperatures are going to look good, but we're talking about the wind being up, so it's going to be windbreaker type weather. 66 for tailgate, mostly sunny to partly cloudy, so a good day, right? And 61 degrees for kickoff at 6:30. And for the Cowboys, 57 for tailgating, mostly sunny to partly cloudy. Again, pretty windy as well, and 65 for a high up in Stillwater on Saturday. Elsewhere, temperatures on Saturday will be in the middle to a few upper 60s in the metro, and from the mid to low 60s to maybe a 70 on Saturday. In southern Oklahoma, and on Sunday, a southwesterly wind kicks in. That's a warming and drying wind, so look at the 70s here, 70 to 73 on Sunday. And might even tap 80 down around Frederick on Sunday for daytime highs. Stillwater 72 on Sunday. Here comes a cold front that will chill us down beginning early next week. Now, no precipitation through late Wednesday of next week. But watch that space Thursday, Thanksgiving into Friday of next week. There's cold air nearby, and there's also a storm system out there in the jet stream. So there may be some mixed precipitation nearby. We're going to watch that carefully. Computer models are still acting like they're second graders with a coloring book. 30 for a low tonight, 59 for, glad you got that, Kev. 59 for a daytime high tomorrow, 67 on Saturday, pretty breezy, 72 on Sunday, a warmer weekend for sure, and then colder Monday and Tuesday. And right now, 50 on Thanksgiving, 44 on Friday. Again, there is some precipitation possibly out there, and Arctic air is nearby as well, so we'll track that on that 7-day plus 4 this evening.
Now, sports with Brian Brinkley.
New OSU men's basketball coach Steve Lutz was not entirely pleased with his team as they went 3-0 in their 3-game homestand to start the season. Today, the Cowboys played away from Stillwater for the first time, and a few issues came up this afternoon against Florida Atlantic. This was a close game throughout almost the entire game. Second half, Cowboys were up 5 when Robert Jennings got the steal and the slam. He had 14 points. For the Cowboys, they added 11 rebounds as well. They led by 10 at one point, but FAU responded with an 11-1 run to take the lead for good. Just over a minute to go. Kenny Evans with the layup and foul. He had 14. There were 56 fouls called in this game. OSU had 3 players foul out. Florida Atlantic won at 86-78. Cowboys will play Miami, Florida tomorrow at 1 in Charleston. OU's men's team will finish their season-opening 4-game homestand tonight. They'll take on East Texas A&M at 7 o'clock at the Lloyd Noble Center. We'll have highlights at 10. The Thunder got their 14th straight win over Portland last night. Alex Caruso sparked OKC in the first half. He finished with 17 points. And Isaiah Hartenstein made his official Thunder debut with 13 points and 14 rebounds and helped
I've been
OKC
around.
to
It's
win.
not like I just vanished somewhere, so I was always around the team. Just coming out there, just playing with the guys, gave me a little bit more motivation just to kind of go out there and play with them again. And it felt great. I think there's a lot of stuff we can actually still work on, kind of chemistry-wise and finding the right details. But I think for a first game, coming back, it was good.
Back with what the NBA All-Star Game will look like after this. ESPN is reporting there will be a new format for the NBA All-Star Game. It will be done similar to the Rising Stars event with 3 teams of 8 players each, plus the 4th team will be the winner of the Rising Stars game. They'll play 2 semifinal games to 40 points, and the semifinal winners will meet in the final, which will be the first to 25. The All-Star Game is February 16th in San Francisco. Can you smell that? It's desperation. Atlanta Braves pitcher Chris Sale was named the winner of the Warren Spahn Award today as baseball's top left-handed pitcher. Sale was 18-3 with a 2.38 earned run average and led the National League in wins, ERA, and strikeouts. He was just named the NL Cy Young Award winner yesterday. Spahn Award is presented by the Oklahoma Sports Hall of Fame. Hopefully he'll come here and get the award.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
I think I smell barbecue spare ribs. I don't know. Is that what it smells like?
I don't know.
See what you started.
I'm getting hungry.
The Extra Edition is next.
A News Nation exclusive. Hear from an undercover informant.
Once they trust you, they start offering you girls.
Who penetrated the most dangerous drug cartels to free hundreds of victims.
He has the resources to do things we can't.
News Nation takes you inside to see how he did it. Tomorrow, 5/4 Central. News Nation is news for all America. Find us now at joinnn.com. Then just enter your zip code to get News Nation. News for all America.